Shalom, Yasharallah. This your brother Dawudah from GMS St. Petersburg, Florida, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, in pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. All right, I want to jump into this lesson, basically dealing with the things that's coming. I've been seeing a lot of different things, like that movie Bird Box, and just things in the news, because there's a real reality that's going on. Sometimes we speak about these things that this is coming, that's coming, but there's a lot of these things that's already here. You don't really have to watch movies to see the real deal happening. You want to see martial law and things take place and what that's like. Hey man, I believe Ukraine's still up under martial law right now, but it's not bad bad over there. But Venezuela. All right, look at what's going on in Venezuela when things start collapsing. Greece had it going on over there in a lot of different places. All right, so you start to see, and when atrocities or how they say natural disasters happen and things go real left field for people, you see how people switch it up. Just like when here in Florida you had the hurricanes and stuff, you see people looting for shoes and stuff, and that's on a low level. People just turn into monsters when certain things pop off. But imagine when it's survival mode. In the hurricanes, it wasn't quite survival mode, but when it becomes survival mode, people are going to stop robbing and looting for shoes, and they're going to be robbing and looting for food and survival. All right. And that's when things are going to get real, real deadly. So I want to start this here off, let me see. I'm going to start Jeremiah 30:7. Jeremiah 30:7, it says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." All right. Now this time is going to be a time like never before. All right. It's going to be, let me see. I think it is, Daniel 12:1. Yep. Daniel 12:1. "And at that time shall Michael stand up, that great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble," which we just read, Jacob's trouble, "such as never was since there was a nation, even until that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book." I'm glad I actually grabbed that precept, everyone that should be found written in the book. But nevertheless, it says, there should be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even until that time. So you can take from the very beginning time, since, the very first person was placed on the earth, right? And the very first people was placed on the earth, even all the way up until this very same day. And really, you could take all the atrocities that's ever happened from the flood, slavery, all that shit all into one. You can roll it all into one, and nothing is going to be like this day. All right. 70 AD. Nothing going to be like this day. All right. Because what? The whole earth flooded, everybody drowned. Yeah, you're going to be having tsunamis and floods and shit like that, but you also going to be having nuclear bombs go off. Then you're going to also be having, before all of that, you're going to be having race riots and, major collapses and, how do they say, martial law declared, cannibalism. You see what I'm saying? Like, look at Venezuela, right? Venezuela is in straight chaos for the last couple of years, and we just sitting over here comfortably in America. So the whole world, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't something where shit, the whole world is in agreement. Like, you know what? We ain't going to school no more. Like the people over in Syria, they in agreement that we ain't going to school no more. We ain't going to work no more. We not making no more payments and shit. We just worried about dodging these fucking bombs that's dropping, right? That's the mindset state that they in. But the whole planet Earth ain't in that mind state right now, because this hadn't come upon the whole planet Earth. When this comes, it's going to be like that around everywhere. All right. This is what they call the day of the Lord, And I mean, we living in this day now. I mean, as far as things building up, but it's going to be, like the scripture says, it's going to be a time of trouble such as never was before. All right. Even into the same day. So the things that's coming is every day that go by is getting worse and worse and worse. All right. So from there, I want to go to the beginning question of this, Matthew 24:3. "And as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming in the end of the world?" All right. So I'm going to jump down to verse 6. All right. Well, I can read it all the way through. Verse 6. "And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." All right. And that's what we're hearing of right now. We hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? Oh, Iran. We pulling out of Syria and aiming on Iran. The Israeli and Iran conflict. is America and Turkey, America and Turkey, going back and forth with the S-400 slash Patriot system. You see what I'm saying? All these different things: China and America, Russia and America, Ukraine, Eastern and Western Ukraine. You see what I'm saying? All these different things of wars and rumors of war, mainly rumors of wars. All right, there's not really no real wars going on. There's a lot of conflicts and proxy wars, but no real wars going on yet. All right. It says, "You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." And like I said, there's a lot of these wars and rumors of war, or battles, campaigns, and proxy wars going on, info wars going on, currency wars going on, but no real hot wars are going on between two countries. Well, you do have, like, I think Yemen. Yemen is at war with another country, but nevertheless, mainly, you have a lot of skirmishes. It hadn't come to the time yet where we're going to see World War III, where country versus country, Russia versus America, America versus Iran. All right. It says, "You shall hear of wars and rumors of war. See that you be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." So yeah, like I said, if you was jumping off thinking the end was here when the shit popped off in Syria a couple years back or whatnot, we still got some time to go. The end is not yet. Verse 7, "For nation shall rise against nation." All right. Now, nation is basically how we would call a race of people. All right. They would be like the so-called black man versus the so-called white man, that type. All right. So in a sense, you have you could have let me think of two separate nations that's kind of back and forth right now. Well, shit, you got America versus Venezuela, right? Those are two separate nations against one another. All right. Two different so-called races of people. All right. But in a sense, you have Russia and America, they both Edomites, all right? And when it says kingdom against kingdom, hey, those are two different kingdoms. You see what I'm saying? You got not necessarily two different races. You can have the same race of people fighting, i.e. Russia and America. They both Edomites, right? But what? They're gonna they wound up the heads of these two battles, this great battle, all right? It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places." All right. "And all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and hate one another." All right. So we starting to see this happen now. The persecution of the actual saints. All right. Not so-called Christianity and things like that, but you actually starting to see these things start to happen now. All right. And also just in the streets here in America, you've seen a lot of chaos and calamities and things being stirred up amongst these different people here. All right. With Donald Trump shutting down the government for this so-called wall. And the way that he's using this and selling this is he's selling it based off of the racism that these goddamn Edomites have in America. All right. He know that he can get these Edomites to jump on the bandwagon if we can blame this on Jake some kind of way. Let's keep these goddamn Mexicans out because they stealing our jobs. They're rapists and whatnot. Like, well, the fact of the matter is, the majority of the illegal Mexicans that are in America, they come in legally through a visa and they stay here after their visa is expired. And a lot of the illegal Mexicans are going back to Mexico because it's better financially for them over there than over here. It really ain't no jobs here. You goddamn legal ass Americans is scraping for dollars because you can't find jobs and you legal and you got the skills and everything. You can't find no goddamn job. So, a lot of these so-called illegal Mexicans is going back over to Mexico. And the majority of your illegal immigrants, well, the Mexicans are the so-called Mexicans are the least amount of the illegal immigrants here in America. You got, I believe the majority of the illegal immigrants is either Chinese or Canadians. All right. It's either Chinese or Canadians, and they come over the northern border, not over no goddamn southern border. All right. So if anything, you need to put a wall on the northern border. All right. It's the Chinese or the Canadians are the number one immigrants that are here illegally. All right. I believe it's the Chinese. They come over here and have babies and stuff like that. All right. But nevertheless, then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and deceive many, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right. And again, that's what you start seeing here. You see a lot of people, Donald Trump, not just Donald Trump, but the Lord has raised up the spirit to have all these people going basically at each other's necks over a lot of these different things. He's raising up Judah by what? Showing Esau keep gunning us down and all these different atrocities they got going on. Then you have, vice versa, the so-called white man mad because of the so-called Mexicans coming over here. They wanted to build a wall. But these idiots don't realize that that's the Lord's trick bag he got you in. Esau Edom is really building this goddamn wall to keep you people here in America as a prison state, all right? And you look at the Hunger Games and anything else like that, all right? They trying to keep your ass in. And one of the other reasons that they trying to use the military in a defense budget to build this, because this is a defensive wall, not to keep illegal immigrants out, all right? These elites know that these other countries is mad as fuck at them, all right? They know what's coming. They trying to, hey, for one, they didn't use you Americans as collateral. All right, they didn't set you up as the collateral to be these slaves, and just look at how war works. But nevertheless, continuing on, verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So, setting this here lesson up as far as martial law and the things to come, and just the calamities. Hey, the scriptures say that but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So you got to make it through all of this. All right, contrary to the popular Christian belief that, how they would say that the so-called Christians, those that saved, they're going to be raptured up before the tribulation, what they call pre-trib, right? Or pre-trib rapture, all right? But in actuality, first of all, like, you'll hear our people say that there ain't no such thing as a rapture. Not according to how they say it, all right? With the elect, all right? The 144,000 elect, they're going to be beamed up via the chariots of the Most High. Come up hither. He's going to beam up the elect. All right. That's going to, like the scripture say, he going to save us. You're going to have to go through 6 trials, but in the 7th, you're going to be delivered. All right. We're going to have to go through all of these different things. But what it says, verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. We got to make it through all of this, save those nuclear missiles. All right. And then right before those nukes come down is when the elect going to be beamed up. All right. So from there, this is the setup. It's going to be wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. All right. Let me go to the book of Isaiah. This is Isaiah 19:2. It says, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right. Brothers against. Well, let me just keep reading. I will set the Egyptians against Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So we were just basically reading that in Matthews about nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All right. So again, they further breaking it down here, and speaking of these Egyptians, hey, in that place, which is called spiritually Sodom and Egypt. All right. So what do you think is going to happen here in America, man? You're going to have race wars. You're going to have, not even to say race wars in that sense. We are going to have race wars, but, it's not going to just pop off because you niggers, you crackers, and we just pop off that way. No, more than likely it'll pop off because of what? Some kind of economic failure or something like that. All right. When things go down like that, first and foremost, everybody's pretty much segregated in their own groups. The so-called white people live amongst white people and are friends with white people. So-called black people are so-called living in black people neighborhoods and friends with so-called black people. Right. Take it out in California, right? With Crips and the Bloods. They already ganged up by race. You see them saying some shit go down. Who you think they gonna bond with? They not gonna go bond with some people they don't know. They gonna be banging out there with the people that they do know. All right. So they're gonna be right out there with their own race of people. And they're gonna be like, well, shit, we know we ain't got too much. We don't want to bang on each other. We're gonna go get it from the other folks. We know that the white people neighborhoods got the shit. We're gonna go get the shit from them. Same, i.e. with the white people. Look back at the Black Wall Street. All right. When those so-called white people didn't have shit, and they was all broke, and the so-called Negroes was coming up, and they had a lot of shit going. What did so-called white men do? They banded together as a race and went and stole from another race because they had it. They was like, well, shit, one thing we got in common is we the same people, You gonna click with your own people, all right? It says, I will set Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, all right? So, i.e., look at the yellow vest protests, all right? That's an example of Egyptian against Egyptian. All right, where is brother against brother, his neighbor against his own neighbor. And then it says here, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. All right. So it's going to be all out warfare on all sides, on all different levels. You might be, let's say that there's all out war breaking out over America, not from a foreign country, but you just got basically like a civil war amongst, Now here in Florida, you got, these different neighborhoods in Central Florida banging on each other for this little territory, but all of Florida banging on each other. Not just that, you got motherfuckers in Georgia, they all banging on each other, but then you got some of them that's like, you know what, we're going to go over there and try to take over Florida. That type of shit. It's going to be people all over the place, man. Let me go, Go to the Apocrypha real fast. This is Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? All right, now this is one of the prophets speaking. All right, now if you ain't one of the prophets, this is how the prophet is feeling. So how much more you people that aren't prophets admit of the Lord? All right, if he worried, you should be worried. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows, great mournings. Now we just read in Matthew 24, I believe verse 8, these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, wars and rumors of wars. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death. All right, great death. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? So these are the beginnings of the worst days coming. And that's where we living in now. All right. Behold, famines. All right. Like they got it in Venezuela, and plagues. And we got, there's a virus running through America, a couple different viruses running through America, and, actually other places in the world as well. All right. Tribulation. They had, a flight, I believe it was yesterday, the day before, where they said that people on the flight got sick. They didn't know if it was like motion sickness or if it was probably Ebola or something. They don't quite know on it. It says plagues, tribulation. All right, and people going through all kind of hard times and troubles, i.e., people losing all their jobs and stuff, trying to struggle. All these businesses closing down, and anguish are set as scourges for amendments. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So right now, in America, for these Americans who live that American life, like they're looking at all this, the stock, they see the stock markets is crashing and things are getting bad. These Edomites know they scrambling, they troubled in their heart. The ones that's not really looking at certain things, as far as in certain ways, they just looking for their own stuff independent. Like, oh shit, my money ain't gonna last long. Things is going kind of bad. They starting to see all these different things now. They kind of are being frightened from the things that's coming. Economically and so on and so forth. But of all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of their scourges. Prime example, all these crazy shits is popping off here in America for these Edomites, but yet they still over here screaming, fuck Mexicans, build a wall, fuck Mexicans, build a wall. Like, yo, your whole shit is crumbling down because of what y'all done did to the Israelites, and yet y'all still going hard on y'all wickedness. All right. Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be sold good cheap upon the earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Now, victuals so good cheap upon the earth. We were just recently in this state where we now slowly sliding into things that's starting to get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. All right, things was already tight, but you had certain scenarios and things where, for example, quantitative easing, QE1, QE2, QE3, QE4, QE infinity, on and so forth. Or they had another one, quantitative easing and quantitative tightening, I believe it is, where instead of quantitative easing, they pumping money into the system. Quantitative tightening, they starting to pull that out. They're starting to pull back that stuff. So now you're starting to see slowly but surely things are getting harder and harder for people. But, well, it's not really getting harder and harder for people economically. What they doing is they working the shit out of the people at the jobs right now, overworking them and trying to get these people basically to either quit, get fired some kind of way to get the people out of the workforce. All right. And now these people are losing all their jobs, i.e. there's a lot of people without jobs, a lot of businesses shutting down. All right. But what? They're going to eventually put them into the case of like, damn, we don't have too much. When they start to drop this economy, people are already starving. They don't have too much of shit to begin with. All right. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. All right. And again, i.e. right now, for instance, you have a new you have a new credit rating score, right? They have this new credit rating score to introduce good credit for everybody so they can start buying again, because we was already tapped out. But yet they want people to start buying again to further take away all the rest of the shit that y'all got, to further put y'all in more and more debt. So once they pull the system, everything collapses on your shoulders. All right. But right now on your end, everything seems to be good and cheap. I can go get a car for just signing my name, basically, or $1,000 down. I can go get a house for so on and so forth, just like in 2008. You see how easy it was to get money to go goddamn get a house? There was a lot of so-called middle-class people, making $30,000 a year, went out and bought 3 and 4 houses that was $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 because they made the victuals so cheap. They made the money so cheap and able for them to able to get it, and kept the interest rate so low that the people could afford it at such a low rate You see what I'm saying? But once they increased the interest rates, they couldn't even afford one of the houses. And at the end of the day, they took all the things that they had from those people. All right. It says, behold, victory shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves in good case. Even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. All right. Salakia, give me 1 second. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others shall that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So it says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. But wait a minute, up before, all right, it says victory shall be so good cheap. But wait a minute, if you can afford all this stuff, why you starving in hunger? All right, again, this is like the thief in the night. Why everybody all merry and everything is all happy? Girl, I just bought me a new Corvette and bought this new shit and that new shit. They making you go out and spend all your money getting them hooks into your jaw, but slowly but surely they're gonna reel your ass in. It's like fishing. The damn fish see the worm, he nibbling on it. Oh shit, this motherfucker alive and he tastes good. Then he gulp down on it, swallow it, and swim straight down. When he think everything is all good, then his ass is caught up. You see what I'm saying? It says, verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, the others shall escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, the city shall be cast down. So you're going to be having, just look at Venezuela, look up Venezuela. You got people running around the streets, chaotic and stuff like that. People trying to, just eat, just to survive. A truck full of food might come up or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And you got men out there just robbing and killing and stealing for a bag of rice, But it says, there shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. All right. Let me jump down. Verse 27. So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. All right. At a time like martial law and things like that, or when people are running around and like when all chaos break loose. All right. And you running and hiding from house to house, i.e. like that movie Bird Box, if you've seen it, when that thing happened, people was running and hiding. Right. Escalate that scenario up way bigger. If they got a lot of different movies and stuff like that where people are like pilgrims and they running from place to place. There's that movie with Will Smith. He had that damn what do you call that? A mannequin. He was talking to the mannequin and shit. He was like, Bill, did you move, Bill? Bill, don't be tripping me out. You know what I'm saying? He was losing his mind. This is a fucking mannequin that don't move, but he desired to see somebody so much he didn't created him a person, start talking to him, and flipped out because he thought he saw the mannequin moving. All right, because there wasn't nobody else around. Either all the people was dead, all right, and the people that was alive, they was hiding for their damn life. All right, it says, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rock, as in an orchard of olives. Upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives. So basically, there's going to be a couple people left. The majority of people are going to be laid waste, but there's going to be few people left, but there's going to be some here and some there. All right. It's probably going to be like a couple miles before you see somebody else, i.e. the Book of Eli, right? The movie, The Book of Eli. There was people left, but it was very far and few. Every time they found some people, you know what I'm saying? First and foremost, they was either trying to kill them or hide from them. All right. Let me jump down to verse 31. Even so, in those days, there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search the houses with the sword. All right. So what? This is basically a form of martial law. It's going to be 3 or 4 left, and they're going to be going house by house and kicking in doors and checking the houses. All right. Now, either A, by martial law with government troops, or B, just by the damn rogue, the rogue people just rolling around. Because there will be a time with martial law, and there will be a time where nobody gonna be regarding the princes of the kings like the police. You know what I'm saying? There was one of those movies where shit was popping off and they was robbing a grocery store, and somebody look up and see the police officer beside them, and they're like, oh shit, I'm about to get arrested for stealing, but the police over there stealing. All right. At a point in time like that, the police gonna be like, yo, fuck going to work. I gotta make sure I can feed my own family. You see what I'm saying? So it says, even so in those days, there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search the house with the sword, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old. Her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. So, like if you leave a place uninhabited for a while, i.e., it's your house. If you don't cut the grass for a while, what happened? The grass start growing out everywhere. Weeds start growing out everywhere. Vines and shit start growing up. So what? If nobody's around cutting the grass, like if the government don't cut the sides of the highways and shit like that, all that start growing up. There ain't no man around. Everything is going to grow up. If all these services stop happening, everything's going to grow up. Letting you know in that time frame, people ain't going to be going to work and thinking about this and that, man. I got to go make sure I cut the side of the highway and whatever, whatnot. Nah, people going to be running from house to house, skirmishing, trying to hide out as best as possible, and being in highly densely populated cities is going to be one of the worst places to be. All right. But nevertheless, people are going to be trying to hide out and get from place to place, because basically, how do I say, it's going to be like almost like the purge, more or less. It's going to be a time where you ain't going to be able to call the police and shit. And if you do, they might be more of a harm to you than you just trying to stick it out on your own. All right. This is verse 33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. Now, why are they talking about the women here? All right, because let me read verse 34. In the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. All right, these women need to understand that, with your liberty and shit, like right now, man, it's kind of funny to me seeing these women in their pride, and the things that they do. You know what I'm saying? Especially the ones that so-called extra fine, quote unquote extra fine, is getting the ass shots, the breast implants, all the makeup, and they just look, the ones that classify themselves as so fine, and Facebook models or Instagram models or whatever the fuck they are. All these women, man. All right. The scripture say the virgin shall mourn, having no bridegroom. The women shall mourn, having no husband. And daughter shall mourn, having no helpers. Why? Because all the men gonna be destroyed of these, first and foremost, of these nations. They ain't gonna have no men around to protect them. You got to understand that the times and the scenarios that's going on around you. So imagine being in a purge and people breaking into houses, and it's a bunch of goon ass niggas out there. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the dudes, they spend a lot of their time doing some goon ass shit. So they know, men versus women, right? Who do the most goon shit? You know what I'm saying? Most of the time you see some dudes breaking into people's houses, popping locks, popping trunks, you know what I'm saying? Running through people's houses, holding people ransom and shit like that. Men kind of do this shit on an everyday basis. I mean, the ones that, when the shit happens, is 99.9% of the time is men. All right. Women might help to set it up, but you don't really see women running up in people's houses and shit like that, holding people hostage, duct taping people up and shit like that. Men normally do this shit. So if the women, all their men's husbands, brothers and all that, they done all died off in war, and these women is left alone, and got a bunch of men running through houses getting whatever they can get, then what do you think is going to happen then? I started watching that movie, Bushwick. That movie was just retarded to me. It was just a bad movie to me, like how they directed it and shit. But nevertheless, that movie started out, and an old girl is walking with a boyfriend, and his ass get burnt up and shit. Talking somehow he being a wuss, which she brought out something deep in the spirit. Stop being scary and shit. You supposed to be manly and macho. Then this nigga get blown up. But nevertheless, she go into this little room running from the police and shit. Or she get, these little troops or whatever, like tackle her down and like kind of handcuff her ass. But if it wasn't for a group of rogue men coming by and doing a drive-by on the so-called, on these soldiers, she would have been right. That would have been the end of the movie for her ass right then and there. So she got saved by a group of men that really didn't even really care too much about her, because they didn't stop to help her. They just shot the dudes that was detaining her. All right. Slakia. They wound up just shooting the soldiers that was detaining her. All right. She still had to get up on her own and run. Then there was 2 other guys that was killing somebody else in the cut, and she screamed, and they went to go chase her down. All right. So these guys was chasing these women down, and then she ran into a house. All right. Where the guys wound up finding her ass. She had her little mace and pepper spray, sprayed one of the dudes, but they had guns and they was about to kill her ass. Right. One of the dudes was, making sexual advancements on her, like he was going to, do something to her. Right. But if it wasn't for the dude who lived in the house to wind up killing those 2 dudes, she would have been gone. So within like 30 minutes, this bitch would have been dead if it wasn't for another man. Imagine these women running around and don't got no man. Now, this was just a regular, everyday looking ass Edomite, right? An Edomite bitch. This ain't like Jake women who going out there getting a Nicki Minaj treatment, all right? Getting the ass shots, the breast implants, the makeup and all of this and that. You know what I'm saying? You know how much more juicier and shit like that a Nicki Minaj look comparably to one of these Edomite bitches? All right, so imagine in that day, man, these women without their men, their husbands, their brothers and shit like that, when all kind of shit is popping off, martial law and people just fighting for food. Hey, man, these women's gonna really have a hard time because they can't really try to bargain with no man. Hey, can you help me out? Hey, can you do this and that? It's gonna be up to that man whether to help your ass, whether to kill your ass, or whether to take you hostage and trade you and barter you for something different, or use you as a sex slave. But I'm pretty sure in reality, in times like that, you're not gonna be thinking about having no sex in no time. You're gonna be thinking about just living. All right. But nevertheless, hey man, you know the book of Eli. You see what I'm saying? That woman, she ain't had no strong man to protect her. She had to go fall up under who her mom was with, that rogue bandits or whatever. Then she found Eli who whooped all their ass, and she followed him. All right. It says, verse 35. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of Yahweh. Behold the word of Yahweh, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom Yahweh spake. Actually, that's all I wanted to grab there. Let me go over back one chapter. 2nd Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and them that dwell therein. For the devil has come down into you having great wrath. All right. Because you know he has but a short time. All right. Verse 15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. All right. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. All right. So like I said, first it's going to be like a martial law, you know, where the government going to come down on your ass. But then this is talking about, for there should be sedition among men invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings or princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. This point in time, you're going to have like a bandit of rogue dudes, you know, these people who got guns and shit. Like, fuck that. We got to eat, man. We going out here. We going to start robbing and killing motherfuckers to eat. Well, Tommy, what about the police? That's illegal, man. Fuck the police, man. We ain't worried about that shit, nigga. We got to eat, man. And if you scary, I'm going to blow your head off too. This is the type of mindset people going to be in that day, man. They're not going to be worried about the police. Ah, fuck, I just murked this nigga. I'm, you know, scared the police going to come take me to jail, man. Hell no, man. The police are going to be right there beside your ass. They're going to be doing the same shit you doing because they're going to be worried about the same shit, man. All right. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right. For because of the pride of the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right. Let me keep reading. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. So what? Like I said, or going back up, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. Why? First and foremost, you might have it quarantined off, martial law. All right. Like you see in quite a few different movies, the Batman movie where they have Gotham all quarantined off and so on and so forth. You know, other movies as well. They're going to have these things quarantined off, but it's going to get to a point to where shit. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be just like, yo, rogue entities rolling around, running and gunning, and you ain't even going to be able to make it to a border. All right. Everybody going to be a damn enemy. All right. And then again, you're not going to be regarding the damn police and the governmental systems and the military and shit like that. It's going to either be killed and be killed. You're not going to be worried about if I kill this dude and this you know, these soldiers trying to kill me. And if I kill him, I'm really going to jail for killing a military soldier or a police officer. You're not going to be thinking about no shit like that. All right. Even if, you know, you shot a police officer and another police officer saw you and caught your ass, he would not arrest you and take you to jail. If anything, he'd just shoot your ass and keep it moving. You know, if you pose a threat to him. But if he could get away with his life, he ain't worried about that other officer that got killed. He trying to survive for his own self. All right. It says, let me go back to verse 18. For because of the pride of the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And like I said, at that point in time, man, you're going to just have bands of people just running from house to house, taking every damn thing. You know, you're not going to be worried about martial law no more. You're going to be worried about your neighbor that, you know, you grew up with, your kids grew up with together. They was best friends. They went to school together. They did karate together. Now this motherfucker is over here popping in your lock, killing up your whole family just to get the one bag of rice y'all got. You know what I'm saying? And keep it on moving. Like, yo, we got his bag of rice. Who else got some rice? All right. So, and going back up to thinking about all these women. All right. You know, you're going to be in one of those times where, like I said, let me read this again. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. So all you women that's dwelling without men, strong men, or men of the Lord, put it that way. All you women that's dwelling without men of the Lord. All right, all you women that's talking your independence, you got this and you got that. You got your brand new Beamer. You be stunting on the internet, fat ass and this and that. I got money, I got guap, I got my own, this and that. Yo, y'all gonna be the first targets, and you the weakest. You don't have nobody to protect you. All right, you don't have no strength against no man, especially abandoned men. All right, and you got these men that's not gonna be afraid of the police and shit, and they gonna be running through people's houses with guns and shit, killing folk for their food. What you think gonna happen to your ass? You see what I'm saying? Let me go from there to actually. Okay, don't freeze. This is Ecclesiasticus or Ecclesiastes, Salakia. Verse 3, 12 and 3. In the days when the keeper's house shall tremble, the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. And those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the street when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right. So this is all being coming into a time when economics is slowing down and things like that. All right. Causing what will happen if you know, all the grocery stores shut down. People didn't have jobs and things like that. People couldn't feed themselves. Look at Venezuela. All right. You're going to go right back to the scenarios we was reading about in Second Esdras. All right. All those things happen when there's a lack of bread. There's a lack of food. When you can't feed yourself. All right. And you can't feed yourself. Why? Because there's no more jobs and things like that. There's no more money coming in and out. All right. This is I might have to come back to this. Well, yeah, I'll come back to that. This is Isaiah 13 and 14. And it shall be as a chase roe, as a sheep that no man taketh up. And they shall every man turn to his own people and flee into his own land. All right. Like I said, yo, you're going to go basically into your own people. You're going to, Lord willing, our people that's so-called Negroes is rolling with so-called white people in that day, man. You're going to be coming back to your own people because you don't realize that these so-called white folks, they banding together, take care of their own stuff. Like, yo, man, I know some niggas who got some shit. We can go roll on them because they ain't white, and vice versa. You, Jake, you're going to be rolling up on these so-called Edomites that got some shit. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. And those of you Jakes that's joined with these so-called Edomites, you going to fall by the sword right there with their ass. Verse 16, their children shall be dashed into pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished. All right. Talking about the purge, right? That's what the days is coming, man. It's going to be like Venezuela all throughout all of America. All right. It's going to be straight purge, on all four points of America, basically, long story short, let me go back to Isaiah, actually. It's Isaiah 32 and 9. It says, rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. All right. Talking about these women that's careless right now. That's not with the men of the Lord. That's not focusing on this here truth. All right. The women that's out there worried about their makeup, their cars, their boobs, their ass, and getting on Instagram and shit like that. All these careless women. Hey, vacation time, turn up. All of those women, the ones you try to tell them about this. Nigga, you lame. Get away from me from that. I don't watch the news. I don't have all that. You worried about the wrong shit. All right. It says, rise up, ye women that are ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, and the gather shall not come. All right. All your good things that you got is going to wind up falling. all your securities that you got, all your governmental assistance and all these sleeping with all these men just for a come up and everything like that, man. When you can't go to all your different, these women got, like, men be having women on rotation. Women have men on rotation, but for different things. She might got one to get the car fixed or pay the car bill, pay the light bill, pay this and pay that. Hey, man, in this day, man, men ain't gonna be thinking about shit like that. And then child support, when child support stop coming in because the governmental system is shut down, like right now, what I'm saying? They might be still giving you child support, but when things really fail, you're not gonna have any of these assistance. All right, your food and housing assistance, your little child support checks, all that's gonna stop coming. Then you're gonna be needing food. All right, your sure income that you've had is gonna be ceased. You ain't gonna be able to get that no more. So you're gonna have to go out and get food like every other man gonna have to go out there and get. You gonna have to kill the next man to get his bag of rice. All right, and all you women, you careless. All you worried about is how fat your ass is, how long your weave is, and how fat your titties are. You know what I'm saying? And what you riding in, and what your Louis bag or your Gucci bag look like. All right. It says, tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare and gird sackcloth upon your loins. All right. Real quick, because I got a couple more scriptures. I'm gonna actually come back to that. Actually, let me just go back there now. Isaiah. This is Isaiah 32 and 2. It says, a man shall be a hiding place from the wind and a covert from the tempest, as the rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadows of a great rock in a weary land. So talking about a man gonna be a hiding place. All right. Salakia. Isaiah 13 and 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. All right. So the Most High is saying he's gonna make a man basically a hiding place. You know, the man is gonna be the one that's gonna be your shield. All right. But what kind of man? Not just any man. This is the book of Ezekiel 9 verse 4. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans as a people, not an actual location, and set a mark upon their foreheads, upon the foreheads of men. The men that's going to be the hiding place, all right, and more precious than the golden Ophir, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And who are those men? The men that are on the highways and the byways, preaching and prophesying and telling you this truth now. And when you go into this here word mark, it says set a mark upon their foreheads, which I believe is Tav. It says set a mark. All right. Now this word mark is a mark, a desired mark, a sign of exemption from judgment. All right. So these are the men that's going to be exempt from that judgment. That's why the Lord said he's going to make a man a hiding place and a man more precious than gold, you know. Because these men, the elect men, all right. Let me I'm gonna come back to this. All right, he says set that sign upon their foreheads. All right, it says Isaiah Revelation 7 and 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea. Let me read the whole thing. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, and to whom it was given to hurt the earth, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we seal the servants of our power in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000, all the tribes of the children of Israel. So basically, those are all the elect men. The men, they're all men of the children of Israel. So let me go back to Ezekiel 9 and 4. They got this mark from what? Sighing and crying in the midst of the city thereof. All right. Ezekiel 9 and 4. And Yahweh said, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All the children of Israel, the men. Verse 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after through the city and smite, and let not your eyes spare, neither have you pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maid and little children, women, but come not near any man upon whom the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. And they began at the sanctuary, and they began at the ancient men that was before the house. All right. And he said unto them, defile the house and fill the courts with the slain. Go ye forth. And they went forth and slew the city. So again, that's what we was reading about. All this death and destruction and nation against nation. That's the Lord sending these angels to put these spirits on everybody. Just basically, it's going to be a commandment basically that's given to kill everything breathing. Save the elect. Save the ones that, let me read it again. Verse 6, slay ye utterly. Hold on. Verse 5, and to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after through the city and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye any pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maid and little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom the mark. All right, so kill everything breathing, save the elect. All right, that's the commandment that's going to be given in that day. All right, let me grab 2 more scriptures and we can close out. Um, well, this is Isaiah 4:1. In that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and we will wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. So these women saying, look, like today, like, nah, nigga, you got to take care of me. You got to buy me some clothes, take me shopping, pay my bills, and so on and so forth. But now these women going to be humbled. The righteous women that's going to realize at that point in time, they're going to be humbled. And they're going to be like, look, we'll take care of our damn self. Just like the book of Eli, where Hunger said, I'll take care of myself. Just let me follow you and just protect me. And that's it, you know. 7 women, a complete number. So all these women that's going, basically, the ones that will endure and make it to the end, at the end of the day, the ones that's going to make it, they're going to wind up making it through one of these men of the Lord. They're going to be the only ones exempt from judgment. Everybody else is going to wind up catching that damn death and destruction. Or they're going into captivity. We're going to close out with this Revelation 9:6, just to tell you about how bad it's going to be in that day. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, but death shall flee from them. All right. Oh man. Isaiah 30:7, or Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right, so it's gonna get real rough out there. All right, it's gonna be real bad. But hey, come back to the law, statutes, commandments. All right, follow the Most High. All right, and you have faith that He's gonna deliver you. Revelation 9:6 again. In those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, but death shall flee from them. So it's about to get bad. All right. With that, Lord, when this here lesson was edifying to the elect. Until next time, I say, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for Yakin pushing his truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.